which student has a better chance of getting into an Ivy League school? First, take a look at Zach. He's valedictorian.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna go live, but I'm here. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was Janet Mayowa. So if you're interested in her, go check her out on YouTube. Welcome back. Good to see you guys. I'm gonna come to the chat in a second so we can get started with this show, so we can get going. All right, another day. Today is the 3rd of July. Shout out to July, second half of 2025. Can you believe it? We're here already. Wala. Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about Tubaba Emasculated. Is Tubaba Emasculated the shocking moment fans missed? Well, maybe some of you missed, but some of you might have seen what's going on with Tubaba. It's sad to watch, to be honest with you. It's not just Tubaba. I see a lot of my brothers falling in this category, and I can't blame anything else other than coconuted. Oh god. I can't blame anything other than coconuted. But let me come to the chat. How's everybody doing? Abby, good to see you. Abby, good to see you. I see Babes Wins is here. Marriott is here. Shout out to Marriott. Who else? Chinye is here. Shout out to Chinye. Shout out to Natu. Hi Natu. Good to see you guys. All right, so let's get started. We have a fantastic show lined up for you guys. Hi Biba, good to see you, Biba. All right, so today again, as usual, I mean, this is more or less relationship, marriage coaching stuff. We just try to extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. That's what we do here. If you're interested, well, all of you should do it. It's not if you're interested. If you're interested, go and do it too. Go and download all the books. We have two relationships books up there. Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. You can download them for free. There's some other books up there too, about 5 different books you could get for free. You can download them for free. Okay. So yes, and our goal this month is $180.23. Shout out to sponsors, members. Hitting the like button, sharing, all that kind of stuff helps. We are already at $8.68. Thank you. You can also donate to this venues, membership, super chats, of course. Your support is highly appreciated. Cash App, $ Man of Prestige, Zelle, PayPal, ask@manofprestige.com. You can also use that email to reach out for help. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications. We have a fantastic show lined up for today, and we will be right back.
Beautiful girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Welcome back. So for some of you might have missed it yesterday, we went live. Before we get into the Two-Face stuff, let's catch up on some trendy stuff. Before we went live yesterday, shout out to Marriott. Marriott came up yesterday. Shout out to Honey Bay, came up yesterday to come and hang out with me. DIDDY, at that point in time, we know that DIDDY had been acquitted of the major counts on his charges. The charges against him by the federal government of the United States of America, and he was only convicted of two charges, which is they're both around prostitution, state prostitution across state lines, across state lines. Excuse me. So people were kind of expecting that, possibly that he might be released yesterday, that he might be granted bail. Unfortunately, he wasn't granted bail. And there's a lot of speculations out there to why he wasn't granted bail. One of them is a guy, a YouTuber on this platform, a major big guy, YouTuber. His name is Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. And here is what he said. And I want to know what you think about this. Hold on 1 second real quick. I see yellow somewhere. Wait. Natu, thank you so much for the Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. $10 super chat. Let's do a quick dancing before we continue here. Thank you for helping us. All right, thank you. You can support Natu. Natu does run a business. You can see our information on the screen. All right, so let me continue what we're talking about. So Cassie is guilty. DJ Vlad wrote, Cassie is guilty of the same prostitution charges Diddy was just convicted of. I interviewed 3 of the male escorts. All 3 of them said the same thing. Cassie picked them, contacted them for freak-offs, enjoyed the experiences and paid them. All right, this is what he's saying, and paid them. Meanwhile, she's sitting on $30 million and writing letters to the judge asking him not to give Diddy bail. All right, so now is Cassie sending emails to the judge to not be granted bail? Possibly, but maybe not just Cassie, maybe some other people. But you know, anyway, yesterday he was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. And you know, we also know that a lot of people might be scared of him. Personally, I don't think he has that much power anymore because his life just literally flashed in front of his face. So I personally don't think he will be stupid enough. You never know. But I don't think, I'm also on the flip side, I don't think he'll be stupid enough to do anything stupid, you know, like going after people. I think at this point in time, he might just be trying to enjoy the little bit of freedom that he has left in his life. That's what I think, you know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Cassie is behind him not being granted bail? Do you think it's fair that he's not being granted bail? That's the question that I have for you guys. Do you think it's fair because he's been convicted? Now, we already said yesterday that judges sometimes they can't really get him on the maximum life imprisonment that he would have gotten with the racketeering charges. They couldn't get him, but the judge might still have their personal reservations in terms of how dangerous this guy is, and they can either use the maximum of those 2 charges to 10 years each, right? Or some people were saying he might just get time served. It's not too clear, you know. So, and that's why I'm asking this question at this point. Do you think that Diddy is too dangerous for society? Let me come to the chat real quick and see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Again, thank you so much, Natu. I appreciate you, Natu. Let's see. This Diddy situation, Abby says, this Diddy situation is stressing me out. Decided not to continue to follow. He's sick. He's a freak. All right. I don't think he's behind that. Okay, you don't think Cassie is behind it. Do you think Jane Doe is behind it? Jane Doe is, according to 50 Cent, his ex-baby mama, according to the internet. Okay. Abby said, I'm not sure that's how it works. Sometimes people are consequences of their situations and surroundings. I think is the case with Cassie. Okay. All right. So Cassie, maybe not directly, but indirectly, right? So is it because of Cassie? Could Cassie be scared for her life? What about what's his name? Cassie's ex-boyfriend. I forgot his name. The one that his car was blown up. What about those kind of people? What about the many people that testified? You know, we know that some of the escorts did not even exactly testify against him. Instead, they just gave a testimony. There's a difference between testifying against a person or for a person, you know, but their testimony did not really help to prosecute him, you know. So we know there's not enough evidence to get him away. But now They've scheduled is I think the scheduled is this thing for October 30, sentencing. So it looks like they might be keeping him until October 30. He will not be able to come out and enjoy summer until October 30. Oh, that's too bad. Are you guys happy or no? Not really. Anyway, let me look at what CBS News is saying here. CBS News says, how long will Diddy be in prison? Here's what to know about his expected sentencing. Okay. Sean Diddy Combs is awaiting sentencing after being found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution in his federal trial on Wednesday. Combs had also faced more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, but was acquitted on those. The jury returned its full verdict on the 3rd day of deliberation after reaching a partial verdict Tuesday and being ordered by the judge to continue deliberating. Diddy denied bail ahead of sentencing, while Combs was acquitted of the most severe charges after a 7-week trial. Judge Subramanian ordered he remain in detention while awaiting sentencing. Let me see if we have more information about that. Okay, yeah, we do. Subramanian said he disagreed with the defense's argument that Combs' crimes shouldn't trigger mandatory detention. Prosecutors told the judge Wednesday that Combs is wealthy and capable of fleeing. Combs' attorney declined to comment on the bail denial after leaving court on Wednesday, saying a lot of these things are still in process. When is Diddy's sentencing? Subramanian proposed a sentencing date of October 3rd, 2025. A remote hearing has been set for July 8th. How long could Diddy's sentence be? Each count of transportation to engage in prostitution carries a maximum sentence of 10 years and could potentially face up to 20 years in prison. It sounds like the prosecution is going to be arguing for something potentially over the midline, over 5 years. Oh, okay. Prosecutors, so they have to sell them on whatever they're offering. All right, let me see here. What am I missing here? Oh, thank God. All right, let me come to the chat. What are you guys talking about? Abby says, with the amount of grooming she went through, I don't think she can be blamed for her involvement. Grooming. How old was she when she got with him? Benny, grooming. How old was she when she got with him? I understand he was about 70 years older than her. But at what point do you suggest she should be held accountable as an adult? I know grooming is a social thing, and I know it can be considered in a civil court. As you can see, it wasn't considered when it comes to criminal situations. Tia says a sick freak. I do think the witness, Abby says, I do think the witness may not be safe. Not necessarily physical safety, but I wonder if he'll pull strings to make their lives uncomfortable. You know, I agree with you. And their life could still be uncomfortable even if he didn't pull a string. That's just how powerful he was. Even if he did not, even if he doesn't pull a string in the now into the future, they might still feel threatened, and the judge will consider that. Abby said they should keep him. She's sitting on $30 million because she was his employee, dumbass. Marriott. Wala. All right. Chie, are you suggesting 19 years? 19? Ha! Are you suggesting 19 years? They said over half. Over the like 5 years over that. Oh, she was 19. Okay, she was 19. 19 is young. 19 is quite young. Yeah. 19 was young. Okay. May God help us. May God protect our daughters. How about that? He was 37, definitely very imbalanced. Oh, okay. Did I say 70 years more? Anyway, nonetheless, it's all wrong. Diddy is all shades of wrong. Let me know. I said let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's move on. Hit the like button. Please support Natu. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let me know what your thoughts are on this Diddy situation. We'll continue to follow up as much as we can, you know. but I promise I won't overwhelm you with it. Okay, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, let's talk about Yul Edochie and ex-wife to be May Edochie. All right, so I was looking at some kind of news over the past some few hours ago. I saw it in passing, and there was a news somewhere. Okay, it was on Stella Dimokokos blog's post about Yul Edochie, about Queen May Yul Edochie possibly apologizing to the ex-husband to be. Apologizing to the ex-husband to be. This message is for my brothers out there that like to fantasize. The blue pill one that tend to camouflage or pretend to be red pill. The ones that fantasize, that have a struggle facing reality, but then it becomes very, very hard to help them because they are in fact calling fantasies reality. So I said a lot there, but don't worry about blue pill, all that nonsense. Let's just be real. Let's just be real human beings, okay? The point I'm making there is sometimes we like to fantasize. Let me just talk to you for a second, okay? Yesterday, I was in some conversations on TikTok. I was in a conversation on TikTok. You guys should go follow me on TikTok if you're on TikTok, because sometimes randomly now, sometimes I just jump within some conversations. So go follow me up there. Let me make sure I set this up. So possibly May had apologized, and that apology was being pushed around. Guess what platform it was being pushed around? It definitely wasn't YouTube for the most part. It was on Facebook. On Facebook, we have some really criminal level bloggers up there that will just cook up information and they'll start pushing it around like it's real. But that's nothing. Don't worry about it. They are superstars and they are rock stars, and hopefully they can handle what comes with it, right? But for you and I, I just want to talk to you because this discernment of a thing, the ability to be able to discern truth without seeing full fact, I think is going to be needed more than ever before, because we have all type of VDM style evidences being pushed around the internet and people tend to believe them very fast. All you have to do is cook up a screenshot. Screenshots can be made up with AI tools these days. Okay, they can even cook videos. They can cook even voices these days, right? But when you look at a series of events that leads down to whatever news they're pushing, you should be able to discern if something is the truth or it is not the truth. That's going to be a skill you need to develop. Most people don't have that skill. Okay? We have a lot of men that strongly believe that all it takes is good character to maintain good marriage. I strongly disagree with you. That is the bare minimum. The bare minimum is that you're a good person. That's where we start from. It's a bare minimum requirement. Yes, you should marry a good person. Yes, you should get with a good person. But that's the bare minimum. That's not all that's required for you to maintain your marriage. That's not all that is required for you to be attracted to your wife. Okay? There are so many people with good characters at the divorce court on both sides. So there's more here. And it speaks to your unrealistic expectation. It is no wonder why the marriages are crashing left and right everywhere. It is the very same reason why anybody would see a random apology letter on the internet and believe like, Somebody gave an example yesterday that a woman left her husband because the husband would not give her a head. Is that a good reason to leave your husband? Listen, You have no idea what kind of conversations are going on out there, and yet they are saying social media is not real. No, these are real people having this conversation on social media. If anything, at least you have to believe that they are speaking the truth of what they believe, even if they can't say it to each other's face in real life. But this is how they feel inside, and we know nothing else matters outside of anybody's feelings. So, in 2022, Ola Tux came out to the internet to come and tell us that he welcomed a brand new son with his second wife. At that time, I covered the story. I said this guy is not a polygamist. This guy is a serial monogamist. He's about to collect. Few days later, or maybe a week later, or something like that, May Edochie, the wife, ex-wife to be now, came out and said, I do not want to be a part of that nonsense, because he had gone to pay bride price for the concubine, and that's Judy Austin, right? So now, if his dream or his fake short-term dream of becoming a polygamist was cut short, right? That was too obvious to me. But for some reason, most of my brothers, they bought into that. In fact, they see him as some type of polygamy hero. At the time, at least, some of them still do, but now he's been moving mad. Unfortunately, he lost a son in the middle of clowning himself on the internet, and we're still watching because the divorce is still in progress. So now, if you can't see, if you read certain letters, you should be able to discern and say, no, this doesn't make any sense. But how would you discern if you don't know? Because just that one, if all you're looking at is one piece of event or VDM style evidence, you will struggle with this all the time. But if you're able to discern by simply looking at a series of events and just, I want to say common sense, but it's not common sense. It's not common, So, yeah, it's a struggle. So that's what we're dealing with. Mario said it is a skill that is hard to develop. Yes. It's a good reason not to marry one for me. It's a requirement. Yeah, bare minimum. That's where you should start from. But it is not enough to guarantee a good relationship is the point, right? Yep. She also says she will not be numbered. Yep. Iroke. There no get sense like him. Yeah. There no get sense like him. How dare you call watermelon concubine? Oh, sorry. It's a side chick, sorry. But anyway, she's not the wife according to Igbo culture, because they actually paid for her bride price, right? So, but all of that doesn't even matter, right? Because we're going to talk about Two-Face in a second here. But anyway, the report that I saw earlier on, let me pull it up, right? Okay, here we go. So it says social media influencer May Edochie reacts to alleged apology letter to estranged hubby Yul. For me, I could be wrong, but if I see an apology letter that's moving around social media from May to Yul, I would instantly predict it's fake. Yes, I could be wrong, but I would instantly predict it's fake. Now, for a lot of my brothers, they're not even predicting or anything like that. They're just happy that at least, opwe, somebody is apologizing. They regret leaving their marriage. They are basically fantasizing that all these people leaving their marriage will somehow come back and apologize and regret it. It's a fantasy. Because even if one case is true like that, for the most part, it's not going to be true. The reality is that we are getting dumped. And that's not what we want as men. We want to keep our household together. And it's not going to be as simple as manipulating people to stay in a relationship that they feel is toxic. Even if you don't feel it's toxic, it is not good enough that you all by yourself don't feel it's toxic. You need both people, not necessarily having a good time or happy all the time, but to at least feel safe in that relationship. If both people are not feeling safe in that relationship, it's only a matter of time. In fact, that is the one simple requirement. People have to feel safe in that relationship. They have to feel safer than on the streets. If it feels safer on the streets, they will go into the streets. And no matter how much you paint this picture that they will collect, it won't matter. It is you, obviously, at that point that care the most about keeping the household together, and then you will lose. Anyway, So social media influencer May Edochie reacts to alleged apology letter to a strange hobby UL. Social media influencer addressing the viral rumors, May Edochie, in a Facebook post shared by her lawyer. 1 second. In a Facebook post shared by her lawyer, let me see here. Emeka Ngonye tagged the alleged apology letter as a desperate attempt to create a narrative when other efforts have failed. May did not issue an apology, any apology. It was Yule who chose polygamy and previously apologized. Something is becoming a theme here. Apologies. Something is becoming a theme here. You notice? All right. However, such apology would not alter the current legal situation. Please disregard false claims that are being circulated. There has been no apology from May. She's continuing to pursue the divorce proceedings and damages related to adultery. How much was she asking? She was asking for 100 million naira, right? Good luck with that. May Edochie filed for divorce in 2023 after Yule introduced actress Judy Austin as his second wife in April 2022. May, who cited adultery for her divorce, demanded 100 million naira in damages from Judy. Stella downplaying Queen May and her achievements won't increase your pension. Jesus Christ. Queen May is not a social media influencer. What's wrong with social media influencer? She's a businesswoman, extraordinary. Okay, whatever. You guys want May to talk so bad. Which one is May Yule Edochie reacts? All right. Anyway, I don't care if this reaction is true or not. I'm just talking to my brothers today. You need to develop your social and emotional intelligence skills so you can discern, so you can navigate this new era we find ourselves without becoming soft like Yule Edochie and Two-Face. Those two gentlemen became soft and they have been emasculated precisely. I know that's what you want to prevent. You don't want to be emasculated. But if you're operating from your place of emotions, you will precisely become emasculated. That's how it's going to work. That's how it flows. It's like, actually, if you understand how this works from the point you married a human being to where you are right now, this will be easy for you. If you understand emotions and you stop discounting emotions and feelings, and stop trying to manipulate people to stay in a marriage with you and calling it there's no happiness in marriage. Marriage is not about happiness. See, that talking point is a pregnant talking point because it's true on the surface, but in reality you are trying to say something else, and some of us can see through it. But never mind me, you know, I'm just a guy like you. I'm a guy man just like you, right? The women, the ones you're trying to manipulate to stay, they can now see through it. So it's no longer working. So you need to come up with something that has intrinsic value. Why should they be with you long term? Without begging or apologizing, because that's not what I ever ask you to do here. I don't ask you to apologize random willy-nilly. I don't do that. It is you that will come back apology. It is you that will come back a day later and say, I'm a Odogu, I'm traditional. It is you that tend to be confused in all of this, right? So I'm not asking you to apologize. As a matter of fact, far from it, because you need to understand why you're apologizing if that's a need ever. But if you don't understand it, if you're trying to manipulate people, it will work against you and you'll pay a big price for it. What kind of big price? Well, your household will fall apart. And I don't mean monogamy or polygamy. I'm saying your household, you as an individual, as a man, as a king, everything will continue to fall apart. But that's what I wanted to say today about the apology. I'm okay with being wrong. If there was a true apology out there from May and suddenly she regrets leaving her husband and she should have stayed in a polygamy because there's nothing in the streets, I stand corrected. I doubt it. I doubt it. Let me come to the chat real quick. Hey Jim, how you doing, Jim? Good to see you, Jim. Abby says, of course, we've seen how things have played out. Why would she apologize for what? Kings of patriarchy. Of course, they hope a woman will be miserable after ending a marriage. Yeah. A lot of them are fantasizing. They're looking every time they see an ounce of it, you know. They say, like I was telling you, somebody said, oh, she left her marriage because of head. I was like, well, if she left because of head, it's probably because of many other reasons as related to your boring in other aspects of life, not just head. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. And if there's a one-off out there and she go collect now, prove to her that you are the king, that you are the prize by letting her go. How's that? There you go. The one that was hurt and messed up is the one to come back and apologize for what exactly? Make that make sense. Chinye says. Maria says they live for women to regret rejecting them. Fortunately, there's a lot of them out there right now. I just want them to see how flawed that angle is. All right, so let's do this. Let's get into the main story of the day. Do me a favor, hit the like button. What do you think? Is it possible that May Edochie will come back and apologize based on everything we've known, right? Not just based on the simple fact that she has the audacity to leave a King Odogu Yul Edochie. That one piece of variable is never good enough. Okay, you need to know everything else that led to this, how a grown man was moving. You need to understand that. Do you think that it's possible that Queen May, a gentle soul like Queen May, is secretly sitting there one day, she'll gain the courage and say, let me go and apologize to my husband, King Kong Yul Edochie? Is that a possibility? That we could just all be wrong someday? I'll be willing to be wrong, but let me know what your thoughts are. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. Let's watch this video of Two-Face.
Yo, man, I know I fucked up with what I said.
Oh God.
I really fucked up with what I said.
Oh no.
I know I'm going to get cancelled.
Okay, I'm not even sure what that was. Hold on 1 second. He's cursing a lot. Let me see if I can find Instablog Niger's version. Okay. Okay, Instablog Niger version here.
Yo, man, I know I fucked up with what I said. I really fucked up with what I said. I know I'm going to get cancelled. I'm going to get cancelled for this. I know I'm going to pay the price, heavy price. I'm going to face the consequences. You know, I said what I said. I don't know whether I want people understand my understanding.
Understand my understanding.
I don't say appropriately. There's no excuse.
Understand my understanding.
You know, I own up to that. I own up to the fact that about what I said. I hurt some.
He owns up, he said.
Millions of people.
Hurts you, monitoring spirits, fans.
Millions of people that. Yo, man, I know I fucked up what I said.
All right, so I'm not sure what we're looking at. I'm not really sure what this is that we're looking at. But let me see. I think Daddy Freeze has something to say about this. Let me see if we can find it real quick, because just a few days ago we covered this. Let me play this. We covered this just a few days ago.
But back to your marriage with Annie. What is the one thing that you would want to say to her in terms of your marriage? Any flaws that maybe you today want to admit?
What did you do wrong with Annie?
What did you do wrong?
What did you
Annie?
think you did wrong with
And
Annie?
what did you also do right? Let's also paint the good things that happened.
Both of us, you know, we gave it our best.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? We gave it our best. And why we're not together today, it's not how do I put it? It's not.
Why is he snapping that cup like that? Oh my god. Anyway, I'm just noticing that at the time when we covered this 2 days ago, I'm like, okay, at least he was giving proper prospects. Is that the word? No, he was basically, he was nice. He said both of us give it our best, you know. And I thought that was good that he spoke in that manner, you know. And except this one part of it, right? Of course, we covered this one. Listen to this.
I will talk for my own self. I don't go talk about. One man not they built to just sexually
Deal with
deal
one
with one
woman.
woman.
A man is not built to be with one
Heart
woman.
and love. If you give
If you
one
calm
woman,
down. Calm down.
heart, love, respect, and say, oh, this person is my person. You fit. But sexually,
Sexually.
it dey impossible for man.
So you're
All right, so we also covered that. If you want to know how I feel about that, go watch the live show we did 2 days ago. On that one, a lot of the brothers really say yes, biological. As from a biological standpoint, you know. In fact, I almost got dragged again on TikTok yesterday because they think I'm speaking too much phone and I'm trying to intimidate them. I'm like, wait. If I'm in this conversation with you, how would I be trying to intimidate you? If I or how would I? It's like I'm thinking higher of myself. Like I won't be in the conversation with you if I think higher of myself. I will simply say this one is not worth my time, right? But you know, insecurity is a bastard. What can I say, right? Insecurity is definitely a bastard. So, and then suddenly today, 2 days later on, we see him taking back his words, and I don't know if he took it back. I'm not sure what we're looking at. And then I saw a video. Let me see if I can find that video real quick with Daddy Freeze. Where he talked about it looks like he's under duress. You know, that's interesting because I would have thought of it first. My first thought would have been maybe not duress, maybe it's trolling, it's monitoring spirits. You know, let's listen to this.
After what I said, I really from what I said. I know I'm going to get cancelled.
Two baba. Waiting be this. You want on to mama give us. Dotun was right. We don't like this two-face that we're seeing.
Dotun said
It can't
something
be like
too.
say Geppetto don't they control Pinocchio. A lot of people say two baba is your guy, so why you coming public? Blah 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 blah. 3 separate occasions, Neville, Nevada tried to convene meetings. One had two baba's younger brother, Hyacinth. HI, sit down, all of us sit down. He not even show 3 separate occasions.
Wow.
So I cannot watch somebody I know and love continue to depreciate.
So Two-Face is also avoiding his social circle, people that want to kind of try to some kind of intervention to help him or something like that, you know. So he's avoiding that. That's what Daddy Freeze is insinuating right now, right? Let me see. I'm going to try to see if I can see what Dotun said. Shout out to Dotun. I've dragged Dotun quite a bit on this platform before. Unfortunately, I feel for him when it comes to his kids and the band's sister not allowing him to see his kids. I feel for him, and when I'm trying to help them, I come with a little bit of tough love, which is, hey, don't match their energy. Obìnrin will always win you at that nasty dragging energy. That's not what your power is, but they struggle with that. They struggle with understanding where I'm coming from. The honest truth is that I feel for them. I don't want you to come down to that level where you're dragging it out with your baby mom. It's probably not gonna pan out well for you. But anyway, shout out to Dotun. Dotun had something to say about this Two-Face situation. Yeah, I'll put that up in a second. I found it.
Like this and keep quiet. Okay, you talk something will no make sense. Apologize. You have legend status. A one-line apology. Which one is I effed up? You know, be small picking Baba now. And please, I want to use this as an opportunity to beg Geppetto, please help us leave Pinocchio allegedly.
Who is Geppetto? Who is Geppetto? Is that Natasha? Who is Geppetto? I'm not understanding though. Anyway, this is what Dotun had to say. Dotun said Dotun is a radio guy, by the way, in Nigeria. He's a radio guy, a hype man type of media guy in Nigeria. Dotun said, please, I don't like this two-face. I don't like this two-face. I'm seeing something is not right at all. He can express himself how he chooses to, but why always make him retract a video? That's a good point. It sounds like a confused person, right? Why always make him retract a video or make an apology always like a child? He's vulnerable and someone is milking it. Whoever is holding that camera is wicked. Wow. Someone is forcing him to be who he's not. Two-Face hardly addresses anything. Even in his worst of worst scandals, he never addresses anything like this. Something is wrong. He's regressing and I hate it. I don't care what his personal life or choices cost for him, because that will be our first choice of defense. We all can't judge him sometimes. He can't be wrong all the time. Even if he is, I won't replace the masterpiece he created for his mistakes. This isn't looking good at all. The apology video might be necessary to the cause he chooses to convey, but why is it sacred to just speak your truth as he lives it? The person letting him do these videos is not making him do it for his brand, but for themselves. As in, it's a selfish move. Someone is taking advantage of his situation. At this point, I'll say this out loud. I think Two-Face needs help. Therapy or genuine evaluation. Something is not right at all. I love him so much and I don't know how we allow things happen to people because we blame them all the time. Well, blame doesn't work, but sometimes blame can, when you're giving somebody tough love or you're trying to hold them accountable, it can come off as blame. It's a very tricky place, you know. And definitely he cannot, as a public figure, accuse us monitoring spirit for blaming because he's a public figure. He needs to seek the help that he needs. How about we don't or look at things critically? Everyone can make their choices, but not everyone deserves to live with it. We owe it to them to set them straight sometimes. This is a lot from experience. Traumas and fear will make you so vulnerable, especially when you are out of your comfort zone, happy or safe place. The floodgates will open up and everything will seem right, even when it is wrong, vice versa. This is where you need your true friends. Exactly. And stop blaming the public, right? His true friends. Shout out to Daddy Freeze for trying, right? This is where a Two-Face needs a sound sultan. RIP to South Sultan. Quite sad. Oh man, that's interesting. Sound Sultan. Yes, that was one of his best friends. He might sound like it makes no sense now. Give it a few years and we will come back to this conversation here. We don't want you to be right in a few years. We want him to get help. That's what we're looking for. Him to get help. You understand? And there's nothing wrong with this statement, right? But somebody can turn around and say you're also judging him. So at this point, since nobody can find him, I think the mother eventually found him. The mother was looking for him at one point. Though the mother seems to have settled in with Natasha. You know, but Two-Face is a legend and everybody's trying to protect him. His true friends, his closest friends need to stage some kind of intervention, but he would need to want it. You know, that may be a first step at this point, but he will need to want it. Apologies are not good for the most part. Listen to this. This is controversial. For those of you that never have gotten apology from your partners, you will struggle with this because you crave for it. But for the most part, most apologies are terrible and they do more destruction than they build anything, because most apologies are fake apologies. They're not sincere. And you know, and as simple as it might seem to you to create an apology that's sincere, it's actually very hard for human beings, because oftentimes they feel like they're doing it under duress, or they feel like it's unfair, or why should they be the one taking the high road? So automatically it makes the apology fake because they're coming from a very insincere place, you know. But let me see what you guys are talking about. Let me come to the chat right about now, because I kind of covered that all together. I wanted to cover it before I dive into some of the conversations. This man has been emasculated. Emasculated might seem like we're about to blame all the women in his life. That's not exactly what we're talking about, but When you disengage from your power as a man, that's what it takes to be emasculated. You'll be operating from a very weak standpoint. There is no more frame. This person will say, why don't you do this? You will say, okay, maybe I should do it. You're basically, you are, there's a word I'm looking for right now. You don't have your own backbone. You can't make decisions for yourself as a man. You are swinging one side, swinging to the other side, essentially trying to satisfy everybody else. And sometimes it's the side you flip to. That place, that dimension is where you flip to when you feel like you've made so much mistakes in your life. So you're trying to compensate for it. And that can also be a very dicey thing. In the realm, in the grand scheme of things, we don't want you to lose yourself. Either you're trying to fix a relationship, a marriage, a partnership of any type, a business, you never want to lose the essence of who you are as a person, because you will end up in this street apologizing like a moron. Because it's confusion, right? So in one side, it sounds like everybody is trying to tell you, but you were wrong all this while. So now you want to be right, but you're doing it to an extreme to where you've lost yourself. Most people struggling within relationship and marriage have done one thing: they've lost themselves. They've lost themselves. All right, so let me come to the chat real quick. Mario says, are we supposed to feel sorry for him? Natasha, drag him more. This is what happens when you ask women to help you. You can't figure your shit out and you need women to help you.
Oh, beauty.
Okay, anyway, 2Y, okay, hello. Says, you sure say he would listen to Sound Sultan if he was still here? So it's not about necessarily listening to him. Sometimes just the presence of a strong friend can help you, you know, beyond just talking or them instructing you on exactly what to do. It might actually be a part of your sense of identity where you feel wholesome enough just because you have that one person. Everybody have somebody like that, that when you're around them, it just makes you feel good about life altogether. And if you lose them, you can literally lose your mind. And it's not necessarily about they instruct you and you always listen to them, you know. So yes, he might not listen to him, but he might move a certain type of way if he had not lost a certain friend. Okay, we can't take his music abilities away from his regardless. He's a legend, one of the first global superstar of Nigeria. Literally, right? Everything is trauma now. Everything is trauma. Everything is literally trauma, you know, especially if they're starting to move mad. Yes, you better pay attention. They might just be out of their mind. Okay, see, two things can be true at the same time. We can hold them accountable. In fact, we will need to hold them accountable as friends, as family and friends, close family and friends, if they are completely moving crazy, you know, because some people will lose their mind to that extent. Yes, that's real. Though his personal life is jacked up, he's definitely a music legend. Yeah, we're losing our legend. See, to become that kind of person too, they tend to lose their mind in one or two major parts of their life. Go look at all the legends, either you're talking about in America or in Nigeria. There's always one or two major area that is something is not right, you know, and sometimes that's the cost of fame or price of fame, whichever one you choose, you know. I guess legend means different things to different people. No, legend means one thing now, you know, it means one thing. MOP codes now, what do you mean? What did I say? Daddy Freeze, I beg, what to be this legend all about? Music legend or knocking legend? All of you should stop the cap right now, like right about now, once and for all. Can we all of us, can we stop the cap?
Stop the cap.
I think Chinye already said it. Please stop the cap. Two-Face is a legend, okay? It doesn't mean legend does not equal to a perfect human being. Just newsflash, just a reminder. Legend does not equal to a perfect human being that have sense. Legend does not mean have sense. Anyway, let me see. Abby says, we're sure this guy doesn't have extreme ADHD with this hyperactive and impulsive. Yeah, I just started to notice that because I really like what he was saying on the podcast, except where he was telling on himself about the sexually biological nonsense. I liked how he didn't pull Annie down, you know. But after looking at that again, I'm like noticing like he's still tweaking, you know. Also, inability to concentrate, seems to have some inattentiveness with the way he answers questions. It's all over the place. Maybe it's the English, like you said. English is a big problem too, because it's not our mother tongue. So, and oftentimes they layer that with insecurity, and then it's hard to communicate with them. You know, if your English is not like Queen's English, I need your confidence in your full chest, what you're saying, because it helps us have a conversation without thinking that we are battling with your insecurity, right? I don't care about your English. I could give I had C. My English is not the best. I had C6 in English. Are you kidding me? I had everything else distinction. The only one C I have in my life, in both GCE and the WAEC, regular WAEC, is C6. So I don't have the best English. So, but I also don't worry about that. I'm communicating. I know what I'm trying to say. And if you speak better English than me, I don't give a shit, because I know what I'm trying to say. But oftentimes when we're having this conversation, when you layer it with, it's just a struggle, you know. It's a struggle. Like, for example, somebody saying cheating equals to polygamy. That in our land, cheating equals to polygamy. I'm like, that's a struggle. I don't know where to go with that, you know. But actually, I had a conversation on TikTok yesterday. It went okay, because I had to be super patient. Anyway, I did impossible for Two-Face, not man. I don't know what you mean. You people said Natasha is holding the camera. We don't know. We don't know, but we know whoever is holding that camera is a wicked person. Apology made under duress. Jum Beyond Beauty, shout out to Beyond Beauty, says Two-Face was doing well in that interview until Benedict asked that question, because he knows his weakness. Who is Benedict? Did he just give kidney name? Is that? Oh, is the girl Benedict? Oh, the girl is Benedict. Oh, okay, sorry. Abby says, Beyond Beauty, we've seen people decline questions, insist certain topics are off limits, etc. Two-Face, with all this experience with being in the public eye, was manipulated by Nedu. You meant Nedu? Okay. Benedict, Nedu, from Nedu to Benedict. That type. Your keyboard is smarter than the rest of us. Beyond Beauty. You know what to say, but what you say doesn't know you. Confusion is confusion. 2YOK. Let me see. Leave Nedu alone. I beg, leave Nedu alone. Chill. Okay, he has left honest bunch for you guys. Leave him alone. Let the pure.
Let be poor. Breathe.
Let him be. I beg. Leave Nedu alone. He has left honest bunch for you guys and VDM. Leave him alone, please. Thank you. At short evil man. Why would we blame him? People get asked crazy questions. They can answer it and not set himself up. He needs to find a PR person. Yeah, Two-Face just probably think, I'm a humble guy, I can always answer any question. He doesn't understand the power of monitoring spirits. Every word you say can be used for or against you, like in the court of law, you know. Anyway, Nedu calling Two-Face's friend won't put him in that situation. Well, he said he felt comfortable, he felt safe with them. Here we'll go a few days later. Oh my show. Anyway, Tubaba emasculated. I won't necessarily use the word emasculated. Okay, let me see if anybody wants to. Feel free to jump up. I can spend another 10. What time is it? Another 10 minutes only. Another 10 minutes only. If you have something to say about this one, feel free to jump on. If not, I can round up for the day, so I can let you guys go about your days. All right. Emasculated, I wouldn't use that word. I wouldn't necessarily use that word, but definitely it looks like he's in a very vulnerable state. Now a lot of conversations, a lot of people feel like Natasha just happened to be the feminine woman who was able to, to hold a two-face down. To have two-face fight is biological instinct. Do you guys agree with that? Natasha, a very feminine, soft woman, right? Because all it takes is a feminine woman to get some of our brothers to behave right. That's their theory, by the way. All you have to do is submit and be feminine. And you can capture any man. I think that's true only to a certain extent. Only true to a certain extent. Because everybody have their autonomous agency to behave how they want to behave at the end of the day, right? But we do know that we all have power of influence over each other. But in this particular specific case, is that what we're looking at? A feminine Natasha, soft, feminine, beautiful, inspirational, FBI. Never see anything yet. FBI, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. Alpha, somebody say alpha female. Alpha female who knows how to turn off the alpha female when they come home to an odogu like Two-Face. What about that part? Is that what we're looking at? And is Dotun and Daddy Freeze jealous of somebody who is with a feminine woman? Are they just jealous? That's the argument that I stumbled into today on TikTok. Listen, you notice I keep saying TikTok. I need to stop because I really don't want some of you to end up on TikTok. If you end up on TikTok, it's going to be a bad story. I'm telling you. Shout out to Samuel. Samuel says Nedu didn't have Two-Face back in that interview. Sometimes you got to protect your guy. If it was Daddy Freeze that did that interview, he would be careful on the question he would ask Two-Face. It's much more better for him not to have gone on interviews. If he's going to go on interview, I think Nedu did a good job personally because that's his job. And calling him a friend, I can just take that as part of the play, part of the character that they're supposed to play on a show, right? It's his personal responsibility. Now, if he's a personal friend, I would agree with you. If it's a personal friend, the way he painted it, but I don't just buy into that. They might just call each other once every 9 months because they're industry friends. Sometimes there's a blurred line between industry and personal friends, So I just took it as, industry friend, but they are basically pushing out a podcast. It was doing him a favor, those questions need to be asked. Those are the recent events. It's 2025. Those are the recent events in his life. I think he tried his best to kind of paint it like, so you're with my guy Natasha. Are you saying you're going to be sleeping with somebody else? He asked that question. It's a podcast. Podcast is designed to cast everything. No peace. Anyway, Abby, talk to me, Abby. Unmute your mic. Hi, Abby. Yeah, unmute your mic. You're muted.
Oh, hi. Good evening.
Hi. How you doing, Abby?
Everybody, I'm fine, thank you. I just wanted to say a few things. So, with the Nedu's role in all of these things, I do think that Nedu knows his job. And just like Daddy Free said, if Two-Face had good PR, they would know what sort of podcasts and what sort of interviews
media,
because not everybody brings out the best in you. Different, media outlets would give you different effects. I just feel like that whole thing of blaming Nedu is actually quite lame because this same Nedu was blamed before he left Honest Bunch. But like I said, there were other people that we all respect, like the likes of Peter Obi, Showore, and them lots. Are you saying that he also told people of that caliber what to say? Dele Momodu was in that same podcast, and all sorts of people. Are you saying that he can influence people of that caliber as well? So I do think that he's just has his own personality and his own style, and he might not have been the right person to interview Two-Face, really and truly. Just like Samuel said, maybe Daddy Free should have been better because maybe he can be more diplomatic. Right. But I don't think that Nedu was wrong. Mind you, I find it difficult to believe that someone with over 30 years in the industry does not know how to go about interviews at this point. And this is what I was saying about self-development. Same thing with the language barrier as well. Yes, English is not our first language, but I do think that there's so much that Two-Face could. I mean, look at Wizkid. We know how Wizkid used to speak back in the day versus now when he does his interviews. Sometimes self-development is what is needed for you to get to the next stage, for you to make certain
Let me ask you this question. Between Wizkid and Davido, who is better at interviewing, in your opinion?
I don't know. I'm not talking about.
No. I just wanted to. It's very random. I just wanted to know.
I would say Davido, just because he's probably more captivating. Like he tends to be more engaged.
Okay,
engaging. But Wizkid is very laid back. But what I'm really referring to is more English.
Okay.
Wizkid might not have the best English, but he's improved drastically because he's put work in. That's what I'm saying. So expecting someone like Two-Face that has been in industry for 30 years to not be able to articulate himself to some extent, quite disappointing.
Because he actually had the freedom to speak Pidgin, right? So there's no excuse.
Exactly. He was mixing Pidgin, you know. I don't know, but I think that these are the sort of things that you learn. Even with American artists, we've seen some of them grow where it's just like, oh, now you have better stage presence and all of that stuff. You need to grow in your craft. It doesn't matter what career choice path. I'm sure all of us that have 9-to-5s, we've had to do different kinds of courses and all sorts to get to the next level. So it's just life as an adult. You have to keep evolving, right? So I personally am not going to put that blame on Nedu, and I think it's a lazy excuse because, like I said, at some point it was Annie's fault. It is now currently Natasha's fault. It is Nedu's fault. At what point is it Two-Face's fault?
Yeah.
At what point are we going to say, okay, Two-Face, take accountability for your actions? And, you know, like I said, whether or not that interview was done, Two-Face just recently did a performance. I don't know if you guys remember that performance where he made a statement about not being a one-woman man.
On the stage, like outside, like an outdoor event, right?
Yes, he was already with Natasha when he did this. He did
I remember.
Young, famous in Africa. I think the year before last year, the second to last season. He has it in at least 2 or 3 of his songs as lyrics. So did Nedu have to ask him any question for us to know who he is?
Yeah.
You know, so how is it Nedu? He gives us this information.
There's no excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse.
Exactly. After over 30 years in the industry. No.
Yeah, ignorance is not an excuse. But it just gets worse when he has to come back and retract his statements.
I personally don't think that was necessary. I don't think that he offended anybody.
At all.
Honestly, that's why I actually believe, or I agree with what Daddy Free said about whoever is manipulating you to make you feel like you did worse than you did. The only person he might have owed an apology is Natasha, because obviously you're making your wife look like a fool in public saying stuff like that. But not us. Nobody was going to cancel you for a consistent personality. You've literally been consistent about it.
Do you think Natasha made him do the video?
I do think Natasha was very upset. I do think that Natasha has
entitled as F.
Yeah, I do think that Natasha, so far in my opinion, I think she cares so much for the public. What's the word?
It's obvious. He's a public image.
I do think for her, prove you love me means put it out there on the internet. Post me.
That's terrible.
I do think that if we had to follow the pattern so far, it is fair to say that Natasha probably tells him, if you love me, post me then. If you love me, say this then. If you're serious, you know. So I think he does have a lot of proving to her that he's good enough for her. And she sees it as, okay, you know what, you're going to have to do this publicly. So she likes that public validation of their relationship. And I wish she had people to tell her that it doesn't actually matter. What matters most is what happens in private.
Yeah, exactly. That's what matters. And you have to be content in yourself.
Yeah. I do see,
to
and
really
like I
understand that
said,
fully.
I don't know if you were in the background yesterday during the live on Momo 5 where everybody else joined. And I think
No, I
came to
don't
the
think I
conclusion.
was. I
Yeah,
was
so
trying
Uncle
to see if I
Benno
could make
was
it. I
there.
didn't.
Yeah, so Uncle Benno was there.
Oh, I
Patrick,
missed out.
Honey Babe as well. They were all on the panel. And my conclusion was, you know what? As much as I'm not very happy with Two-Face and a couple of things that he's done, because again, let's put things right. He's right to ask for divorce if he's no longer happy.
Of course, absolutely.
Nobody's disputing that. I'm not here to say he should have stayed with Annie. If it wasn't working, it wasn't working. Even for Annie's sake, it's better for her to be with someone that absolutely wants to be with her and wants to make her happy and she can be happy with. But my thing is, like his brother said, it would have been nice for him to focus on more important things, like maybe his children.
Yeah.
Because I think that this whole thing, I don't know his family life, but I can't.
You just mentioned the brother. Please allow me a second, real quick.
Okay.
To read that, because I was supposed to read. Did you guys read it on the show yesterday? I guess, right? The brothers.
I also saw it on. I even said, because we have a group chat with Momo 5 behind the scenes. A few people.
Okay. Let me bring us all up to speed on that. So the brother had the statement. His name is Charlie Brave. To my dear official Tubaba, there are not enough words in English to express how much I love you, so I won't even try. To the gentle, kind, loving, peaceful being. To the guy who would not intentionally hurt a fly, who would take losses in several businesses just to avoid any form of confrontation, who makes sure everyone around is comfortable even though he is not all right, who gets mute and watches himself being painted as the bad guy, just to protect the same person painting him as the bad guy, to the guy who I would dare to describe as the modern day Jesus Christ from Nigeria. Now that's a stretch, but it's okay. Anyway, because of how innocent and pure your heart is, but you will also be crucified by religious standards, to the most insanely talented musician that has ever graced my ears, I beg you today to wake up. It can never be a crime to save yourself, to move on from where you were, almost losing your life and soul, but you haven't moved on. You have been captured from inside the frying pan to an industrial furnace. From frying pan to industrial furnace, Jesus Christ. So my heart bleeds. It's one thing for a girlfriend to snoop in your phone and read messages out of curiosity, and for other relationship reasons, it can even come off as cute, but a girlfriend who breaks into your phone to announce your divorce, Jesus Christ, because she had doubts about your going through it with it, who posts and deletes a picture of herself on your socials and asks Nigerians to help you beg her to marry her while you sleep, who clones your WhatsApp, deletes messages she doesn't like and replies messages pretending to be you to steamroll her agendas, a control freak inside your emails and your accounts, who convinces, don't worry about the punctuations, just let me read, okay? Who convinces you to abandon your management and businesses in Lagos and move to Abuja just to become a hum candy and dragged all over Benin and to places to the real you will definitely not go, who would make you defend lies and tolerate chaos, who will sabotage your business trades, who would do a whole lot of rubbish I will not mention here out of shame and hide under your name, who would adopt your surname, tell strangers and whoever cares to listen that she is your wife while you are still legally married.
Yo, man.
Continued, a girlfriend who makes you eat your words from a podcast just because you didn't mention her name. She would have liked. Oh, that's true. He never really meant it. The only person that was mentioning her name was Nedu. Anyway, didn't mention her name. She would have liked. It's not a girlfriend, but a psychotic fan. A something leech who has come to slowly but steadily destroy you and your legacy, all in the name of love. You are in one of the episodes of Those Crime and Investigation, Love, Passion, Murder you love to watch, and the victim at the end of the story is going to be you. How haven't you realized this? You are currently living in bondage. Today being the 2nd of July 2025, I beg you to take a couple, let me mute this so I can Read that. Hold on. Okay. I beg you, bro, take a couple of months off alone. Get completely off social media and let the music. Now, one thing is, people that jump from one relationship to another are dangerous. From one relationship to another are dangerous. I don't know if I remember. That's why I'm saying it. Okay. And let the music and business wait. Give yourself time to heal and reflect and really focus on what's important at this stage of your life. I beg you to do this in the name of whatever you still hold dear. In the names of your 7 lovely kids. They would love to grow up with a healthy and happy father in future. You're a great chess player. You know when it's time to step away from the chessboard and evaluate the game from an outside perspective. This is that time before it gets too late. A time to become the real you again. This isn't you. All right. Before I come back to you, Abby, Jum, talk to me. Jum, on mute, talk to me. What's on your mind, Jum? Long time.
Hello.
Hey, Jum. Why are you hiding from me? Why are you like
Don't
this?
mind me, I'm sorry.
Why are you hiding?
I'm not hiding. How you doing? Oh my God, what you just read now was a lot.
It's a lot. What do
I
you
don't know
think?
if you're going to do another video to break those down. That was a lot coming from someone that
You
is
should.
like,
You should.
yes. Yeah. So first of all, let me say that I am not part of those that blame Annie for anything. Blame Annie for everything that Two-Face has been doing. Never. My comment about that on my own channel is when someone don't want you anymore, it's time to move on. If it is Two-Face that doesn't want to do anymore, sorry for all the times that you've invested and all of that, thinking you guys are going to grow old together. But yeah, everybody has the right to choose or to stay. So I never for once blame Annie for Two-Face, right? Natasha, it is her time. I hope it is good for her. I don't blame nobody. Two-Face is a grown freaking man, a 50-year-old man that can, is responsible for all his actions. So me blaming Nedu is because Nedu for many times stated in that video that they were friends. In fact, he has. Are you okay?
Right.
That is not something.
And he got shine for that. He got shine for that.
That is why I am. That's why I am holding Nedu. I mean, we Two-Face that me I know lack power to be responsible. I'll put it that way. He cannot be a monogamy person. He's never been. He will not be. And that is it. And the earlier he himself know that for himself, accept and stop apologizing like a moron, as you put it. The better we already know. We are not questioning that. We are not surprised when you come out to make all those statements. We are not surprised. As a matter of fact, I'm not surprised hearing it on Nedu podcast. That's not the first time. But coming from this, Nedu is not just a podcast now interviewer. It's not like Jude. Jude is nobody's friend. Jude just wants to hear the truth. This is a safe space. Come and talk. But when you post yourself, you kept repeating it as your friend. Are you okay? Last time when I was not fine, and then you call. He kept stating private conversation of them to establish that this is my guy. He said
even released the whole song to the public.
Thank you. Even song that we've not heard. And then he said, oh, after I asked you, because I listened to that whole podcast. From the very beginning, I'm like, oh, I've never seen Two-Face this articulate to some extent. It was flowing, answering every question when they were asking about the honorarium and everything. It was giving right, and everything was good until Nedu being Nedu. I'm holding Nedu responsible on this one, and I'm not backing down because he didn't just post. Okay, if that lady was the one that was asking that question, I will not hold him. If he acapella, the other guy was the one asking this question, I will
acapella comedian, yeah.
Yes, I will not hold him. It is Nedu saying, oh, are you okay? He was even the first one that asked, are you okay? And then he said, oh, that night that we were talking, and then you sent this video to me, and that's when I know my guy is not okay. And then I listened to the song, the lyrics. It kept going back and forth on that lyrics. No, that is not just an interviewer. So for you to know your friend, you know his weakness, you know his strength.
So let me ask you this question. Right?
Yeah.
Like Abby is saying in the comment here, friendship or not, that's Nedu's job. We agree. Since that's his job, should he have just declined to do the interview at all? As
No,
a
you
friend.
shouldn't decline. I will even feel comfortable to do the interview with my friend.
No, but the
Did you-
interview will be, if he's not asking all these questions, we want to know the answer to these questions.
So
It will be,
where I have
it will be not
problem.
authentic.
So now let me get to that side, right? So I want to establish that Nedu is not just interviewing with Peter Obi that he doesn't have relationship with. He's interviewed someone that he established with us on that interview that, oh, he's my friend and all of that. So let me move to the next person. And then he asks, okay, so now you are with my guy, Natasha. Because they've been stressing this same question that, are you a one-man guy or one-woman guy and all of that? And he's been saying men are not built like that, biological. He's been giving the same answer that he always gives. Then Nedu drive it personal. So you're saying you're with my guy because you already gave the answer. That should have, from a perspective of being a friend, he has said something that all of us were expecting. He can never be faithful to one woman. He said it in the famous Africa and Young or whatever they call it, that everybody was going nuts. Like, how can you say that? Your wife is here. And that was when he was still with Annie. I mean, I'm not sure of the timeline. Now he's with Natasha. Natasha knew all his past stories.
Natasha broke into the phone allegedly.
Yet, still decided. I know that's why I said you're going to do another video on that thing that you just read. It's so packed. We need to unpack it. So Natasha knew all of. It's not like a guy that they went to go and bring from Seychelles that does not know anything about.
Sorry, Junju. Some people are not liking my video. Why? Okay, all right. Continue, Junju.
Okay, so
hit the like the video.
Sorry, please, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Actually, two questions. One is a statement. By the way, since Two-Face has been with Natasha, he's also said this thing publicly while performing as well this year. Just let you know. My question though,
I hear the performance.
Yeah. So second, my question is, do you think that this is an interview that has backfired? Because I do think that they actually wanted to focus on the fact that he was not going to wish Annie bad. He was going to, I think that this is an interview that has backfired because of his thoughts. And I'm going to be very honest and say that.
Or do you think because of the apology?
So let me even get down to my point. Maybe I will address your question. If I finish my point, maybe I will address your question.
Okay, no problem.
Before you ask. So drive it down to my last point. So Nedu already asked, so what is your view on monopoly and monogamy or whatever? And he already answered. But Nedu being that when he was with Honest Podcast,
a professional,
he's the one that always this is not about professional. Nedu always look for trouble, and that is why you see that when they are dragging people on that Honest bunch, he's the only one that they always drag, because he's always the one saying, oh, he's my friend. He's always the one that knows stories. Oh, that is how my guy said. Even when he's calling people's friend, we should take that with a grain of salt, right? Then he brought it personal, which is not also a problem. Like, oh, so you're my guy, Natasha. I don't know if Natasha is his guy, but you always want to farm people. You're with my guy, Natasha. So are you saying, no, that is too much coming from someone that claim to be friends, someone that send his phone to you? Is like somebody is interviewing my husband. You already asked, okay, what is your stand about monogamy in a marriage? And he said, well, I'm faithful to my wife, even though I've had some terrible past, but we're moving forward, right? Then you now have, so now that you're with your wife, are you going to cheat on your wife? Knowing the history of this guy, like my other person that talked earlier said, Abby said, he's not very articulate like that. He is English. He's not that sound. And this is your friend asking you, what did you expect that he's going to say? So Nedu stretched that question to the point that because all of this happened with Annie, not Natasha. Of course, what did you expect Two-Face to say? Even to the point that Two-Face said, you are looking for trouble. He himself said it. Because what did you expect me to say?
But he also said he felt safe.
For trouble. He repeated the same thing, like, okay, so men are not built biologically, and he said
to be sexually with one woman.
Yes, then he said individually can think for themselves, but for him, which is something that we already know, he didn't say anything different, he didn't say anything new. But what happened there is being interviewed by your friend, and then being set you up. Nedu is not professional. Jude, if you look for Jude interview, you will see nobody that will talk with Jude and will come back and say, oh, this is not what I intend to do. You keep people, even when you are digging into their personal life, Nedu is just there catching cruise. He doesn't care. And I don't know if they will, at the end of the day, still call themselves friends. Two-Face has personal problem, maybe midlife crisis, double midlife crisis that he's been dealing with. Personally, he is not supposed to marry somebody else. He needs time. He needs time. He has made many mistakes in his life. And Nedu saying, oh, he's my friend, he's my friend. So will you do this? Of course, he will say what you have to say. I disagree with him coming out to come and apologize. And another reason why I see that maybe he needs to come and apologize, because the question is directed to Natasha. And he made it on the public platform. Maybe the lady will be like, well, even though you haven't cheated on me, why did you people drag my name into it? As the reason I'm holding Nedu into it. Because do we know if he cheated right now? He even said all the baby mamas they were talking about was before he married Annie. So nothing happened during the time he married to Annie. We didn't have no new babies. It was all those babies then. But they will not just let this story go. Now coming from your friend again. That's what I have problem with. And we know that he talk loosely. He's not very sensible like that. So you will not know how to...
Even Two-Face, in this your submission, even Two-Face is collecting stray bullets. But
I'm holding him accountable for not building himself, as Abby have said. You've been in this industry for such a long time. At least even if you did not go to any school, you should know basic interaction with people, using normal basic English to convey your thoughts, to convey yourself, and then answer questions. You've been granting interviews.
Question for you, Jum Jum.
Or everywhere.
Question for you, Jum Jum. Do you think he has entered the bottle, courtesy of Natasha?
Can you say that again? I wasn't listening.
Do you think he has entered the bottle, courtesy of Natasha?
If he enter bottle, he enter garawa, he enter bucket. I don't care. I
know you don't care, but do you think?
Because he's a grown-up man. I don't bother myself with grown-ups' decision, honestly.
Okay.
He's a grown man that has family.
But in that interview, he managed to not answer anything negative about Annie.
That was why I am holding Nedu accountable, because he couldn't pin anything on Annie, because the guy stayed positive. But yet, Nedu being a snake that is always is, he will drag you to the point that, oh, he's going viral again. How he can't stay without people talking about him. He left Honest Butch. Then you people still have to be talking about him. And I don't know why people are granting interview with him. He's not. I'm holding Nedu responsible.
What did you call Nedu again? You call him? How many names have you called him?
Devil man, he's a snake.
Short devil snake. Nedu is about to get dragged in this internet. I could just smell it right now.
Go and made interview with my friend. And you are just hammering on my weakness. Yeah, people want to know the truth. What truth did he say in that video that we were not aware of before? He has talked about Annie. Yeah, we are aware. Now you brought Natasha. What is he trying to drive at? There is no new information there that, oh, because he went to Nedu's postcard, that is when we are able to know this. All this
you asked a question. What's he trying to drive at? Maybe trying to drive traffic to a brand new podcast.
Exactly. That is my point.
But he's a professional.
No, he's such a very unprofessional man. That is not how.
So the only solution, there are two things I'm looking at. See if you agree to this. There are only two things. You and Abby, see if you agree to this.
Okay.
As a friend, he shouldn't have done the interview. He should be like, no, my guy, we need to find you help. Or because there's no way to have an interview with Two-Face. Wrong timing. Or that apology should not have happened. We should blame two people, because now we are looking at Two-Face as the victim. We should have blamed Nedu or Natasha or whoever is behind that camera.
I'm not blaming Natasha. If Natasha,
whoever is behind the camera, who is behind that camera?
I don't know who is behind the camera, but if it is Natasha, that is very stupid of her. She can demand it for apology. Two-Face made these utterances in the public. Even if you want to now do the apology outside, oh my God, I see. There's a way to say it, not just standing there. I F up, talking like a 2-year-old. What's that? There's a way, even if you want to retract something, there's this interview I made recently, and then the name of my wife, my new wife, I'm trying to turn a new person, was there. That was not my intention, and all of that. Everything that has happened in the past. We move, love and light, guy. That's it. Why are you making 5-minute videos saying you F up, you F up? A 50-year-old, at that time is the time that people will tell you you are moving to your grave. You should be more brave, more strong, stand on your values and your cause.
Okay, respond to this one. Respond to this one, then I'll have your last words, so
Okay.
I can finish on time. Okay, respond to this one. Chinye says, beyond beauty, time to start holding grown men in his 50s accountable, no longer blaming others. I beg. What do you say to that?
Did you? Oh, okay. So maybe I didn't make myself clear. He's responsible for wanting to be a polygamy, and anything that comes, any backlash that comes to that, you should chest it. That is not my business. And everything that he said in that podcast is responsible. I did not blame anybody for how he has been living his life from. I'm blaming him for not even, building himself up and all of that, just living on legendary all these years. I'm blaming him for that, right? It is nobody's fault, right? So, but the way Nedu conveyed this interview is what I am saying. I hold Two-Face responsible for everything that comes out of his mouth, but I'm blaming Nedu for the way he conveyed this interview. That is my stand.
Okay.
That, yeah. I hope.
All right. Give me your last word, since you are at it, and then I'll go to Abby.
I thought
you did already.
Question.
Abby, you have your question.
I'm so sorry. I can't even lie. I don't remember.
Oh
my God.
That's why I wanted to get it out. I don't remember. I think she said something.
Sorry.
I wanted to counter what she said. I don't remember now.
Okay. All right. No, another day. All right, Jum. Thank you so much.
Last word.
Oh yeah. Give me.
Yeah. My last word quickly is that Two-Face needs help, a very serious help. He's not the first man to go through divorce. He's not the first man to say, maybe there's some things we are not privy to in his marriage to Annie. Nobody is the saint. It takes two to get them to the point that they are. But there's a way to move forward. There is a way to do things, carrying himself with grace, with power as a man that he is, and he's not doing that. I hope he finds help. Like Daddy Free said, they've been trying to schedule.
They tried to help him. He didn't show up.
Away. So that is his own personal problem, and everything that comes out of his mouth is responsible. Hopefully, he finds a group of friends that can help him, and he submitted himself to their help. Right?
Right.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents. But if you call yourself friend, you can still do business.
Act
with
like
your
a friend.
You can do business with your friend and being professional, not looking for downfall of your friend, knowing the weakness of your friend. That's why I don't do friends. That's why I don't do friends.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I agree with you. Jum, don't be a stranger.
Of course, see my schedule. Stranger. No, never.
Okay. All right. Good.
Thank
all
you.
right.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye. All right, Abby, give me your last word, please.
Okay. I do think that we're not being objective in this situation with friendship. I'm not going to lie to you. I do not believe that Nedu and Two-Face are close friends. I do think that in that industry, they all just call each other friends as long as they've worked together or their paths cross a lot.
Right. Industry friends.
Industry friends is different from like a core friend. I do think that Daddy Freeze is friends with Two-Face, as we know. Two-Face was
they grew up together.
Daddy Freeze's best man, but he couldn't make it, and it was Blackface instead, or all of that story. So I think there's more of a bond there. Right. However, I do think, like I said in the comments, because I'm friends with you, I have a business. Does that mean that for every time you purchase something from me, you get it for free? The most I can do is give you discounts here and there, family and friend discounts. That's about it, right?
Right. But I'm still going to do my interview, right?
Exactly. My own thing here is that as Nigerians, we use the Western world as a standard for so many things until it gets to things that we do not like. So for media, we have Oprah Winfrey, or people like Oprah will do an interview and it'll be very friendly and very mature. But we have people like Piers Morgan that will rip you apart.
Yeah.
Such is life. There's different kinds of media outlets for different reasons, right? People that are going to critique you, people that are going to give you a pat on your back. That is it. We actually thrive as human beings with variety. Nedu is a different kind of media outlet. He cannot be like everybody else. And we can't just keep expecting people like somebody, I think it was Myra that said, everybody else is meant to cuddle Two-Face and
Two-Face. So can we at least have one person to be authentic, right?
Exactly. So at the end of the day, like Myra also said, he did not answer his question about why he divorced Annie or why his marriage ended with Annie, because he knew the backlash that would have come with that. He, however, answered the whole thing about biology of men because he did not think that it was something new.
Because he's no longer responsible to protect that.
Thank you. He knew that we would also be happy with that response because we've taken it already. We're tired of hearing it. We've heard it already. The only reason he has backlash is because he came to apologize. And
is the apology?
Yes, I'm of the opinion that he did not need to apologize.
Yeah,
I've accepted Two-Face for who he is. I don't know him before. There's nothing that concerns me with innocence. The only thing that I care about is Two-Face. Anybody that is innocent, that's his family. That's none of my business. The only person I know is Two-Face, person that sang African Queen. Everything else is none of my business, right? So he came to apologize. And like I said, that apology was not necessary. I also think that in conclusion, just to conclude, I also think that people need to remember that Two-Face has given a lot of these women a choice. He has let it be known the sort of man he is. So any woman that decides to deal with him is dealing with him knowing that these are the chances of, what he's going to do pretty much. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. We'll talk soon. We'll see you very soon, Abby. I need to catch you guys on that platform. For some reason, I missed yesterday. Actually, I had it set, but for some reason, I was caught up. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. All right. Let me bring Uncle Kidola. Where did you go now? Baba, come back now. I was going to finish the show with you. Where did you go? I was going to finish the show with Uncle Kidola. Oh yeah. Let me drop the link for just Uncle Kidola. I have to finish in 10 minutes. Unfailingly. I'm going to drop the link again for him. Just in case that was an error. Let's see. I'll wait another 5 minutes. I'll make my commentary already. Hopefully he can come back up. Okay. Samuel says, even Acapella is very close to Two-Face. Two-Face won't fly to South Africa to grant that interview if he wasn't close to Nedu, especially this time. Well, as a friend, if we go that angle, because I actually agree with Jum too. I'd rather not do the interview. If I can't ask you the hardcore questions, I'd rather not do the interview. Because I will always be a professional. There's a certain authenticity that we need in the interview. I will not be sugarcoating your answers or your questions for you ahead of my interview. It will come off as fake. Especially if I was a Nedu and people are familiar with the controversy, whatever. I ask all the right question. I know everybody in the world. I'm always running my mouth. If that's the brand, then so be it. If I feel like it's going to be dangerous for my friend, I'd rather not do the interview. Because then what's the point of doing the interview if it's not going to be authentic, Uncle Kidola, I'm waiting for you to come back. But this other thing I just read here, this the brother Two-Face. That boy dropped gem. First of all, as a family member, I know they are probably desperate for help to try to help Two-Face right about now. I understand, but I don't know if it's helpful to still put out his business like this, considering the fact that a lot of things he said were mostly entertainment. They sound like a lot of assumptions that in-laws make about their in-laws. Okay, that's the part that wasn't so obvious while we were reading that. Okay, it is just all Natasha's fault. She dug into the phone, she dragged him, and this man did not make any decision on his own. It could be true. We don't know that to be true. But one thing I know about in-laws is that in-laws will assume the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario to them? That it is all the fault of a person they don't like, that their own is dating. That's what that text was laced with. That's how I see it personally. And but I understand that they're in a very desperate place. It's the same thing that the mother did at first. She ran out to the internet and said, please, so save my son. Or a 50-year-old son, even if it's true that they've used diabolical means to bottle him up. Unfortunately, that doesn't fly in real world. Okay, it is what it is. And usually people cannot capture you in a diabolical way unless you dipped your hands into the wrong jar. They need you to kind of like eat a bait or something first. Be like the witches and the witchcraft of this world. They need you to bite something. They will throw like a little something into the water. If you bite it, that's how they get you. Okay, so in the real world, you will have to be held accountable. No. All of the accountability will go to the person that ate the bait. So it would be nice for me to drag Natasha right now. I think Natasha is a dumb person for thinking she's going to change Two-Face. That is our own self-accountability. You see that? But in terms of Two-Face being a victim here, Two-Face is no victim of Nedu or Natasha. Okay? But Two-Face could be sick at the same time and not be a victim at the same time. Okay? He's probably sick for real, right? But the idea that he's a victim, not necessarily. Okay, being sick and being a victim, they don't have to be true together. Okay, just because you're sick and you're in the hospital doesn't mean you're a victim. You could just be sick. You could just be a sick person, right? So it's interesting. So the in-law, I would say, if Two-Face, look at it this way: if Two-Face saw this posting right now, is that going to attract Two-Face into the intervention sessions? No, he will probably run further away from you. You're essentially pushing him further and further away with such write-up. Okay, and we have to, whenever we come out of our emotions and we want to act, we have to think all the way through, not just how you feel in the moment, where you just, you feel how you feel. You're validated for feeling like you want to save your own. But you have to, it is wise to think it all the way through and say, hey, the end goal here is to attract my brother back to me. Would this attract him back to me? Or if he sees this, will it push him further away? There is a place for intervention. And even when it comes to intervention, it has to be done properly. Because if you don't do it properly, it will push them further away. Okay? When it comes to marriage, I always say family meetings say, no. You're probably going to push that person away further. They're going to resent you, especially if they're blindsided or ambushed into it. There's some people that need intervention, and you better know what you're doing when you're doing it, because you're going to move further and further away from the results that you are seeking. Okay, so I don't think it was overall, I don't think it's wise to post this on the internet and drag Natasha. The best we can get out of it is that we'll help you drag Natasha for being a Dumbo who thinks she can change Two-Face. It's entertaining. If it's prestige family, we will extract some lessons out of it. But in terms of attracting Two-Face, I think this is going to push him further away, and they need to seek professional help, come up with better ways to get him the help that he needs. I do think that he needs help. Emasculated, I wouldn't use that word. I just saw somebody using that statement. I don't think it's relevant, but particularly for this case. But I also do think it might be a small link there when we compare it to like a Yul Edochie. When you look at this similar moves between them and a bunch of men fantasizing about polygamy, which for the most part they're not capable of what they're fantasizing about. This is just their hero, right? These endings are not good. Our legends getting bottled up is not good. That's not what we want. Okay, if you want to do polygamy, do it with your full chest. If you can't do it with your full chest, then it means it's not who you are. You're probably looking to fill a void. That void can be filled easily with purpose. With purpose, self-respect, self-love, self-improvement. Okay, it can easily, it's the lifestyle you're looking to live is expensive. You can't keep it up. It has nothing to do with the idea that you have biological capabilities to be with other people. That statement is true for both sides of the gender. Anybody can engage multiple people biologically. Now we can extend the conversation to what about social shame around that. Yes, women will be socially shamed more so for that than men. It doesn't stop it. It just makes them better at hiding it. Ouch. Ouch. Sorry, I broke the bottle too much. I scattered the table too much. I felt it in my spirit. So whatever you're fantasizing about here, be careful, because the end, this to be continued. Let's not call it the end, because I haven't seen the end yet, right? This to be continued aspect of these stories of these two gentlemen, it's not looking good. You like Doechii and Two-Face, it's not looking good so far. The only thing you can do is call them a hero and fantasize about maybe you will gain the courage one day to go and ask your wife that you want to do second wife. Don't forget that these guys were basically moving the cowardice way, which is what most people do when they cheat, because what they're getting out of it is not a wife. They're getting the secret hype or high of being with a secret lover. And all of that, shout out to Natasha, all of that gets watered down. The moment you're no longer a secret, whatever that guy is getting from you, he no longer gets it from you again. I don't know, it might take me another hour of Shalaye to really break that down all the way, you know. Samuel says Two-Face should just put out good music and stop posting his relationship online. But be mysterious, allow people to wonder. The reason we love Two-Face is his music, not his personal life. I know, but Natasha no go rest. Natasha no go rest. Oh, problems. Anyway, let me see if there's any other post that I didn't read here. Let's see. Everybody's always the issue, not Two-Face. Even his mother thinks the same. Giving spoilt, entitled brat. Well, he's the Oluomo of their family. I can understand it, you know. He's the guy who would invest in your business, all his siblings' business, and when he fails, that guy said it in there. When he fails, he doesn't fuss about it. He's just that guy. But this is the downside of being a good guy with no emotional intelligence. This is the downside of it, you know. You become everybody's doormat, including some new girlfriend, random girlfriend, allegedly. Natasha, maybe Natasha is the feminine, beautiful, inspirational who was able to capture happily ever after Two-Face. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. Mara said yes, their 50-year-old brother is Jesus Christ, and Natasha, who is 20 years younger, is a black widow. Jesus, Lord have mercy. Vicious. Anyway, we will continue to, you know, this conversation really finished, so hopefully Two-Face get the help that he needs. I wouldn't use the language emasculated, but I definitely say he lost his power. His superpower is being Two-Face. Innocent, that is not his superpower based on what Samuel just said. We don't need to be knowing all of this, but in this time and age, it's kind of hard not to know all of this, especially if you don't enter some kind of young girl's bottle. It's hard. It's hard. And that girl has a lot of power over Two-Face if she's in fact behind the camera and filming that, whatever was going on. It could have been a random house girl. We don't know. We're speculating that it is Natasha. We don't know. But yes, thank you guys for stopping by today. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. By the way, we do have a couple of sister channels, okay? If you're interested, we have a couple of sister channels. Well, if you're looking for purely marriage relationship coaching from my wife and I, go to the YouTube channel Ola and Ola. If you're looking for the smaller clips of this channel, we have a second channel called Man of Prestige Clips. I also post them on the community page, the post tab on the homepage, so you can also access some of our replays over there. So we continue to put them up there. But yes, thank you so much for always liking, sharing, subscribing. Turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.